found the GroomPod. Welcome to our virtual salon. My name is Susie, and I'm your host. I'm a mobile groomer from Seattle, Washington, and anybody who knows me will tell you I love to talk, especially about my job. And one of my favorite people to talk to is my friend and mentor and the co-star of this show, the curator of ingredients, Miss Barbara Bird.
Yeehaw! Woo, Susie, hi there. So glad to be here again on another Sunday. Boy, I miss it when we don't meet.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to episode 479 of the GroomPod, recorded on April 26, 2026. I'm Susie the Groomer. This is my mentor and good friend, Barbara Bird, my partner in crime. And it's time for us to review the April issue of Groomer to Groomer 2026. So this week, What's New is brought to you by Best Shot Pet. Is Grooming Day a battle against mats and tangles? Take control with the ultimate duo from Best Shot Pet. First, transform your grooming routine with the Vacs. This ultra-concentrated single-ingredient conditioner is a total game changer. It conquers stubborn mats, reduces drying time, and turns your recirculator into a high-performance de-shedding machine. Then, put the finishing touches on your masterpiece with the all-new Ultramax Anti-Static Scissoring Spray. It's perfect, lightweight companion for effortless combing and precise scissoring, while completely eliminating static and those pesky flyaways. Plus, it smells like coconut, and I really like it a lot. Professional results start with the right products. Visit bestshotpet.com or your local distributor like Cascade Grooming Supply and grab your bottle of the Vacs and the new scissoring spray today. Best Shot Pet, made from the best stuff on earth. Well, as you can all see, I've had a fight with the shop vac in the back of my van. It landed on my face. See it up there? So it looks like I have a Betty Boop, or maybe I have a goatee. Maybe that's a goatee. But I'm just too short for the van. It's built for taller people than I am now. I'm 5 feet tall, and I couldn't reach the shop vac. The shop vac, the whole situation back there with the shop vac is kind of interesting. I did not realize that shop vacs are now made with the hose inlet coming into the canister part where you have to empty it. My shop vac, which is 20 plus years old from my trailer, has the hose coming into the top, and you can just lift the top out and pull the canister out. You can't do that with the newer shop vac. So the shop vac that was in the van had the hose coming into the canister, and I couldn't get it out, and it was really annoying. And it also had a divider where the hose came into the canister. So the hair would get split on the divider, and it would cause this huge blockage. Bad design. If I ever have to use that shop vac, I'm going to cut that divider out of it. It's so stupid.
Not designed by Curtis Handy.
Definitely
groomers.
Not. I mean, I don't know how quickly the hair gets stuck on it, but every time I've had to empty that thing, which is shaped like a big saucer, it's just really weird design. It's just coated with hair, and the block goes way in. So I thought I should just take my shop vac and put it in. So I did that. But then yesterday when I was emptying it out, I hit myself in the face with it because it was so tall, and the whole thing just came down, plunk, hit me right. I got a cut on the inside of my lip. Anyway, I'm really making the van my own, and I have gone through and labeled everything that needed labeling, and I labeled some things that didn't even need labeling just because I like my label maker. It's so much fun. So everything's got nicely labeled. I put all my stuff away. I don't have any stuff piled or sitting in the corner or anything. I've got bins. They all have labels on them. I know what's in them just by glancing at it. I feel so much more at home now that I've got everything put away. And I popped my circuit on the generator for the first time, so I went out and found that. My propane, I filled up my propane. That was the first. It was really fun. I had a little pimply face dude come out and say, "Do you want me to fill your propane?" And I said, "Yes, please. Is this your first time?" And I said, "Yes, it is." He said, "Let me show you how to do it." And he showed me how to do it. And he said, "You have to bleed this and push this and screw this." And then I got to my first appointment, and I forgot to unscrew that thing that stood there for 10 minutes trying to figure out why I wasn't getting any gas, any propane to my heater, my water heater of all things. And it turned out that he just didn't open the valve. Maybe that's something I'm supposed to do. It was interesting, though. The whole thing was interesting, but everybody's loving the van, and I'm loving the van, and I put the air conditioning on, and that was kind of fun too. So there you go. So that's all I've had that's been going on. It's just me settling in and labeling everything. So anything exciting with you? What's piquing your curiosity? What have you been doing?
When I was in Atlanta, I got a couple of things, grooming things to help me groom my ungroomable dog. So, I have not been able to give Marco his summer haircut, but now I have the hammock and the new cord in the groomer's helper. And so I was able, with the help of the hammock especially, to give Marco a full haircut, number 5 all over down the legs. Had to do a 5-in-1 at the lowest setting for its part of the legs near the feet because he had licked a big mats there. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was, but it was way ungroomable. And he sort of freaked out in the hammock at first. I want to warn people who buy the hammock and use it for the first time on a dog that the dog may not just automatically go into submission. He was like, "Oh fuck, this is fucked up. I'm gonna die." You know.
It does take a little training.
And so, fortunately, Jody was there. I laugh because Jody's idea of helping is to hold the dog like close to his chest and then sing little things to them. It's like he's like a groomer mommy. He's like a pet mommy. Like. And there's my little Marco. He's all right. And I just want to say, shut the fuck up. But he's helping me, so I can't. So I have to put up with it. And but the short story is that I got him clipped down. It's not picture ready. I can't show you his picture because his face is a mess because I had to shave like this. I had to just like hit and miss shave around his mouth because he had boogies and stuff that had gathered, and it was just looking too terrible. And I can't pull the hair around his mouth. So I had to do that. So he's just got a very uneven thing. And I tried to make his ears even. I did the best I could. It's not picture ready, so I'm not going to shame myself by showing you him. But it did get done. And I want to thank Hanvey Engineering for those, and it took us a while because at first I had the hammock on backwards. So I had the part that should be up around the neck, around his butt, and then the other part, and he was just kind of like really uncomfortable in it. Yeah, he was kind of, and so we turned it around, and
there's training for the groomer too with the hammocks.
It's a little bit of a learning curve, but I'm gonna say it's worth it. It is so worth it that when you need it, you got it. And you just, now I wish I could go back and groom that Scotty that I never could get groomed. Because I had hammocks at the shop. Why didn't I just dig it out?
I never understood that.
Because my employees like didn't believe in the hammocks or any restraints.
I get it. I mean, I'm not that way. I like
So,
restraint, as you know, but it does
but I
take some
wish that I
convincing.
had. I wish that it seems to me that I did try everything possible with that Scotty, and I think he somersaulted and turned himself inside out, literally inside out, and used his back legs to climb the pole. I mean, that dog, he was a monkey. He could just get out of anything, and he escaped me. Well, Marco's
Not as athletic.
not as athletic, yeah.
Yeah.
But um
I'm glad you were able to get him done.
my dogs are like 14 years old now. So I've realized that I have to change my perspective of them to fit their aging process. And Marco's doing a funny thing now, because sometimes in the evening he'll spook. I mean, he's such like he things he can't see well, and so things frighten him, and it's mostly that I think he's starting to kind of bump into things, and then he runs away from that, and goes onto the middle of my little rug that I have here, and that's safe territory because he knows nothing's bordering that rug. He's got it.
Right.
I got this now, and but he goes, eek, what was that? Almost got me, the kind of stuff in the evening. Poor
Yeah,
guy.
I know.
I just gotta give him.
I was gonna
And you
say
know
get.
what? He fell out of the bed. He fell out of the bed, and
Oops.
he didn't tell me, but I noticed because when I got up, he was no longer on the bed. And he said, "Oh, will you lift me up on the bed?" And I said, "And didn't we do that, like 3 hours ago?" But now, since he had that little falling out of the bed, as soon as I get into bed, he lays down his backside to my leg. He
Oh,
wants to be right there where he can touch me, and then he knows he's not falling off the bed. So,
so speaking of, on the other end of aging is the puppy. And I groomed the puppy yesterday. So, those of you who don't know, I am a shared puppy mom with a girl who has a dog 3 weeks out of the month. And then I have the dog 1 week out of the month. We share her. And we got to have an Havanese. She's 6 months old. We just got her spayed. She's spayed now because she was just a terror. This dog will push down any baby gate, or will squeeze through it, or will go under it, or will dig around it. She is just she's annoying. She's just in your face all the time. She never, ever gives you a break. So we thought perhaps spaying her would slow her down a little bit. And they pulled a few baby teeth and fixed her little hernia. But she is a red Havanese with white accents. And we gave her a big girl haircut yesterday. I took her down with the green comb. And she was so excited to get rid of all that hair. You don't think thick hair, but man, when that hair came off, it was like it added 25 more miles per hour to her zoomies around the house. She was crazy. She did really well. I've given her 2 baths, and we've been brushing her a lot. And Jessica's doing a lot of training with her with the help of a professional, because she just needed to get a hold of some separation anxiety problems and stuff. The dog is going to daycare twice a week. She's just becoming this really neat little individual, different than all the other dogs we've shared. We've shared 2 other dogs together. So this is the 3rd one, and it was really fun to give her a little haircut. So I'll put that picture up on the discussion group. And how about we get into our Groomer to Groomer magazine? But first, let's hear from Precision Sharp. Are your shears working as hard as you are? If you're ready to level up your scissoring game, it's time to check out Precision Sharp. Whether you're sculpting intricate styles or tackling heavy bulk work, their sliding thumb, lynx, and bobcat series are built for the job. The lynx shears are your go-to for lightweight, lightning-fast precision, while the bobcat series gives you that extra power and control you need for those challenging coats. They hold an edge beautifully and feel perfectly balanced in your hand all day long thanks to the sliding thumb ring. Find your next favorite pair at precisionsharp.com, where performance meets perfection. You love grooming, but the business side, not so much. Between the constant phone calls, the no-shows, and the messy calendars, it's hard to focus on the pets. Meet Groomer, the all-in-one software built specifically for salon, mobile, and house call groomers. Let clients book online 24/7, send automatic text reminders, and manage your payments all in one place. Spend less time on paperwork and more time doing what you love. Start your free trial by putting GroomPod22 in the coupon code at groommore.com.
Love the Groomer.
Yes.
Love sitting at my grooming table, pushing a button and sending a text to the people saying it's time to get him.
It's true. Okay. The first thing that caught my attention about this April's Groomer to Groomer magazine was the cover photo of a real dog getting groomed. Just a dog getting groomed. Me too.
I loved it.
Such a nice cover. Such a good picture. Such a real life picture of depicting what we do every day, all day long. It's just a really nice entry into it. And then, boom, the first article, Daryl Connor. Daryl Connor, our friend who lost her husband unexpectedly, which both of us just wish her the best, and hopefully she's going to heal up from that. But she talked about bathing and how important bathing is. And the first thing she mentioned is looking into getting a bathing system. And she did mention like the shampoo delivery systems as well, but she did make an effort to mention the recirculator. So that puts her pretty doggone high on my list. What'd you think of her article?
Well, I thought it lacked. I liked it. I mean, she's always easy to read and to understand. But I thought, as I often do with Groomer to Groomer, not necessarily Daryl, but it was pretty surface.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And then big thing about rinse, and then rinse some more. Well, if you have a good recirculating bathing system, you don't need to you're gonna rinse really quickly and
It's
be
true.
thorough, easily be very thorough. And it just didn't really come together for me. But knowing what Daryl's been going through, I definitely give her a pass. I was frankly, I didn't expect to see an article from her this issue.
Yeah, me either. You know what I think is bugging me about Groomer to Groomer right now? And it's very mild. It's a minor complaint. I think that after the people submit their article, Groomer to Groomer lets AI pick a title for the articles, because all the article titles are very AI appearing. They're very AI structured in the way they do the titles. They're very long. I don't think the title needs to be that long. I don't think there needs to be that much information in the title. Yes?
Speaking of which, do you let AI pick the title of the GroomPod?
Sometimes. It
Because
depends.
this title that we had last week or so was the science of coat defense. We didn't get into any science with
It's
coat
true.
defense. What science? We skipped that part.
I thought I edited that. Maybe it didn't take
Yeah, it was.
because I was
I
just going to
mean,
put, yeah, I didn't want to include the,
it
yeah,
was really a barber bramble. It was a bramble that snagged me because
yeah.
of my um, identification with science. And
So
I was
I
thinking,
did
oh,
change
we're
that.
science minded. And I said, ah, we're science minded. And then I said, you know what? We didn't get into any science about um, coat defense.
Yes,
In
I
fact,
did mean to change that.
I've been thinking about doing a review of, of the ingredients of the shampoo and just to give it our coverage a little bit more of a science base.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. Oh, I did leave that in there. It wasn't in the title, it was in the description.
The
That's how I
description.
missed
Okay.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
I might fix that. Sorry, folks. A little misleading
I
there.
mean, it's only me. It's probably only for me. But people might be reading it, looking for the science. Well, maybe the next paragraph. Well,
It tweaked me also, which is why I rewrote it, but it apparently didn't take. So that was my posting error. I
okay.
was tired. It happens. I'm
It
sorry.
happens. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, okay,
Well,
well, anyway, so that's how come I can recognize the AI titles. And I don't know if
yeah.
that's what they're doing or not, but it sure feels like it because it's always statement colon explanation of what's in the article. And that's exactly how AI does it every time. So I'm thinking that he's
Wow.
retitling things. But
Well,
so am I. I mean, it's all good. It's all fine.
it's all good,
I
and
get it.
you
Yep.
know, like I appreciate what AI comes up with in terms of suggestions for our articles. Um, and they do. I use AI in partnership a lot these days because I'm just old and tired. I don't know. Well, because it's there. No, because it's there. If it had been there, you know, like I can't wait to get back to writing my book, and I have now completed my 8 weeks of surgery, post knee surgery, PT, physical therapy. So I have 2 days more whole days at home. And I can either go crazy being bored or I can get into my book. And
I
I made, I made somebody a promise that I would use Fridays to work on my book every week. If I do 1 day a week, every week, I'll get the goddamn thing finished. And then,
yes,
yes,
we can only hope.
and I can only hope. And I am hoping that AI is going to help me with some of the drawings and the graphics of the book, so that'll be just like uh, less of something that I just lifted off of the internet and more authentic, authentically me. So
Cool.
yeah, so let's go. What else?
Let's go. Okay.
What was the
This
next article?
the next article gets my article of the issue award
Ah,
because I'm giving one of those. And it is Stephanie Calhoun's Structure Before Style, her description of grooming in Korea and her experience there. And I was riveted by the whole thing. I thought it was so cool. And I think that what she got out of it was the importance of structured learning in grooming schools. And she is doing a grooming school. So for her to come out of there with the feeling that you need to have structure is she's singing my song, Barbara. She is singing my freaking song. I want structure in our education system for groomers where
well,
it's, yeah,
and standardization, so
yes,
that we're grooming schools and academies are teaching the same things, and the same things will lead up to the next level, and then so on and so forth. And instead of this hit and miss, um, But I liked the article, but it didn't give me quite what I was hoping by the title. And what I'm hoping for
See,
is I
see,
want
it's AI. It's AI. It's the same thing that happened with mine. It just grabs something out of
I
it, and it's not exactly right.
I wanted to know a little bit more about their prep. I wanted to know if they always I want to know if they ever scissor down dogs before they bathe them. I wanted to know what is that stuff that they soak dogs in that seems to make them so all happy and relaxed. And they pouring it over, and then they have it on the head, and the little dog just yeah.
It seemed to me the article was more about the difference in the way they structure their learning program rather than how they groom or that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But
well,
I,
everything is structured around canine structure,
yes,
and
shapes and
that's
angles.
cool. I think the way that I learned it was more structured around coat type
Right. And there's so many different
and
ways
breed
you
and,
can
and
teach.
breed profile. I had to start by reading the um, the the dog book with
The
all
AKC book.
the AKC book. That's all we
Yep.
had. And I
That's
had to
right.
study all of that for every kind of dog that we were grooming. And and then I struggled to understand what that I mean nobody like interpreted it for me. So I had to sort of figure it out myself, and then basically I had to learn by experience. So
I
and that's
looked at her
probably
pictures.
and that's probably why it took me forever to become a good groomer.
And this is why I never understood angulation, is because I was never taught with these diagrams. So she put up some pictures, and there's a picture of a diagram with the angles coming off the dog in all these different directions. And I was like, oh, it's a geometry problem. I get it. It's geometry.
Yeah,
But
you know who it reminded me? It reminded me of I'm sorry, but
this is the 86-year-old mind. Sometimes
this
there's
is
a
the
blip.
86. No, and I just okay. What's the name of the woman who I certified under, who then went on, who teaches
Is it Judy?
Michelle
Oh, Michelle Evans. Evans. Michelle Evans.
Michelle Evans. Michelle Evans has has that perspective. I think she comes the closest in presenters anyway of teaching that kind of a method of the structure. I mean it's in there in some of the schools, but it's kind of an after the fact instead of before the fact. So these Korean groomers to be, they have to understand canine structure before they ever pick up a scissors.
Yeah, I think that's cool. I think it's a part that's missing in our
And
education.
and then I like very much that they used model dogs to learn to scissor on. I would have given my left tit, oh, maybe the right one.
Okay.
I would have I would have given up a favorite body part in order to have that at that time because I was so afraid of fucking it up that I didn't do it completely. That I held back instead of moving into what I was creating in my mind.
She
So
has a
I would have
picture. She has a picture of all the model dogs being worked on in a room. And I was curious if you noticed anything unusual about all those dogs.
They were all the same dog.
They all had muzzles. Their model dogs all had muzzles on. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they groom with muzzles on. Because why would you put a muzzle on a model dog? But they all had it. They all had a little muzzle on. All the way down the row. I'm like, what the heck is on their... Oh my gosh, they're wearing little muzzles. So I don't know if that's just...
Hey,
Yes.
good catch, girl.
Oh,
I didn't
that's-
notice that.
Yes.
They all just look to me like white poodles with puffs. And
Yeah. Yeah, you
just-
go back and look. I would show you, except for I'm not good enough with screen share to get it to pop up quickly. But every one of those dogs has a little muzzle on. So cute. And
See, I would have liked to have heard that.
Yes,
That would
well,
have been, that would be. We ought to get that question answered.
yeah,
That's a real
hey,
difference. Yeah, because
Maybe-
instead of who?
maybe we could get Stephanie on the show to come on and talk about her experience in Korea.
Oh yeah,
Wouldn't that be
let's do
fun?
that.
Let's do it. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that'll be fun. All right. Let's move on to Dr.
Okay.
Cliff because he was third.
Okay, so I thought this was, and I thought this was just a very cursory. It didn't offend me. This article, I didn't find anything that I was really kind of burned about, but it was very cursory and it never went a little bit deeper. He says his saying, one of his favorite sayings is that, if you kill the yeast, you feed the bacteria. If you kill the bacteria, you feed the yeast. So he kind of hit on that, but he didn't give any explanation or engage in an additional discussion of that, which I think is a really important point that he made. He sort of, I sort of just felt like, you know what, it made me want to take his class.
Oh, that's probably what
I
it's
think
for.
That's probably how he writes it.
Yeah.
I think that's what he wants. It's exactly what he wants. He wants to just like open your mind enough that you want it fully explained, and you have to pay for the additional explanation. Well,
So, as a former veterinary groomer, so I started in a vet hospital. I was the receptionist, then I went to manager, then I took the groomer to cash your paycheck, and I thought, what am I doing up here at the front desk? This is crazy. I want to play with the dogs. So I learned how to groom because of that. The feeling I got is he was just telling us what happens in the vet office that we never get to be part of or see unless we have a skin dog. So I didn't mind so much that he didn't go deep. I thought he gave a really good assessment of how the vet goes through their appointment with the dog and deciding what to do. But yeah, it didn't give us any information that we could use in our own business.
yeah, it didn't, and he didn't say how many dogs go home with an antibiotic prescription.
He did mention that a little bit. He talked about that being the first line of defense. That's what they do. Yeah.
Apoquil and
Yep.
an antibiotic. It's so bad.
Not helpful. Not helpful in the long run. Helpful for people trying to get to sleep and their dog is itching on the bed, maybe. But it's not really a solution. It's a Band-Aid.
It's a Band-Aid. And there's times when you'll pay $100 for a Band-Aid.
Yep. It's true. If you can't get to sleep because your dog is itching all night and it's right against you and the bed is shaking like this and you're like, please just stop. And yeah, that's worth $100, I would say. So that was neither here nor there. The next one was Salons and Strays, an inside look at India's dog population by Jennifer Bishop Jenkins. Jennifer Bishop Jenkins. Fuck, I did it again. By Jennifer. By Jennifer. Ooh, I said the F word. There you go,
did.
folks.
I know.
You
I'm
heard
so
it.
proud of you.
Anyway,
Don't you
Jennifer.
dare. Don't you dare edit that out.
Okay, I'll leave. That's fine. I did put explicit on a video, so now that people know there's going to be some language. Anyway, she talked about what it was like. I don't know that she ever went to India, but she did some research on what it's like grooming in India. And I thought the most interesting thing that came out of that discussion, I believe it was that article, that she talked about that most people have strays. They don't have purebred dogs. So the grooming is focusing on how to groom mixed breed dogs more than it is how to groom purebred. Was that?
No.
That
I
wasn't
didn't
hers?
get that. They.
That must have been the Ukrainian one.
I mean,
then,
I'm
or,
sure that there are some people that do own strays, but that's not who goes to the groomer. I didn't get that.
Okay,
Maybe
then it
I
probably.
didn't.
Then I'll cut that.
Maybe
But
I
I'll leave the
wasn't.
fuck in.
I felt that it was an interesting overview. I, I wanted more information. I wanted more. And like I did get that they seem to like drop coated dogs, so that's interesting. I've, I, I like that she touched on the issue of street dogs and that what they should do is catch them, sterilize them, neuter them, and
Oh,
set
yeah,
them
that's right.
free. And but what they're going to do is they're going to just like jail them all, and not set them back out. But it's a big problem in India. We have nothing compared to what they've got there, and there is a problem that's real that doesn't really happen here, and that's street dogs biting people and giving them rabies. So
Oh, man.
that's really scary.
That is really scary.
And I don't know. I would like to know, do kind-hearted people ever fall in love with a street dog? I'd like to know that. In fact, I'm going to ask Jennifer. Do I
She
have
has a
permission
friend. She has a friend that grew up in India, and I think that's where she got a lot of her information.
Yeah, I think
that
she
was her
did,
first
because
student.
that was her picture. She used her friend's picture, and thought it was interesting that her friend then moved to Spain, and it wasn't so easy for her to get her a level of business going as she thought it was going to be in Spain, because it took her a long time. She kind of really had to start from scratch again.
I think the focus of this issue is international. I just got that feeling.
Well,
So,
because there was also the article from Blake Hernandez.
yes. Yeah. And once again, more about teaching than about grooming, I think. More about how teaching was different, in my opinion, than how grooming was different.
Well, I think everything is different in South Africa, or
Yeah.
I expect more kitchen grooming and backyard grooming and informal grooming going on than structured grooming.
Right.
And why? And I would like to hear from Brian about grooming in Africa.
Yeah, we do have an interview with him probably a couple years ago. If you want to talk, just Google Brian Taylor, the GroomPod, and you'll come up with his interview about teaching in Africa. That was really cool. I think we did two of them. So those are really interesting. They also had an article about the European perspective on modern grooming path, the groomer's path, the modern grooming path. And that was by Gasparis Lekavickas. Yes,
Somebody whose
sorry.
name we can't pronounce.
Yes, but he was talking about how in Europe they're changing the ideal being what used to be like assembly line grooming and is now changing to more of a holistic focus on groomers being able to present something of value other than just running the dogs through the mill. So I thought that was good. Good article.
I thought that was good. You know, the article that I thought was the best article of the issue
Yes.
was the having difficult conversation articles, because I thought that was written really well with
Yes.
specific phrases with more specifics, and I and that is having difficult conversations is a very uncomfortable part of pet grooming, and it's why some groomers really prefer to just hide in the back room and groom dogs and not deal with people.
And that article was written by Amanda McGrath, and she's written a lot of good stuff. I like the way she writes as well. I think you did too. Yeah, good tips in there.
I thought that was, you know, like sometimes I finish reading Groomer to Groomer and I just think like, what did I learn, or what did I take home? What did I is there anything there that's going to help me tomorrow? And
I
that
got
was
out.
one thing. I thought that article really gave groomers. I think that was worth the issue.
And the very bottom of her article, she talks about the choice of the language that you use. And I think that's a very important thing today. The words you choose to put out there, you need to think about them and you need to realize that people receive them in a different, potentially in a different way than you send them out. So be thoughtful about your choices.
And that kind of dovetails into the article about body language. You need
Yes.
to also be aware of your body language and what you convey with your facial expressions, your physical being, how you hold your hands or don't. And, you know, that combined with the how to deal with, you know, like difficult, you really need to work on having neutral body language. It's not something that comes naturally, although it is natural. You know what I'm saying? But it's
Yep.
especially if you're like a drama queen like me, you you're gonna show your shit on your body, and so you have to work at not doing that. You need to work at having relaxed hands. You're not gripping the table or the dog, or
And
and
it's not just the dog. I mean, it's not just the people, body language to the people. It's body language to the dogs
to the
because remember,
dog.
they communicate completely by body language and a little bit of voice. But they're reading us all the time. The horses, they read us all the time. And if you
All
walk
the
straight
time.
forward at a horse, that horse is going to turn and run. But if you come sideways in a less threatening posture, they're going to like, what are you up here for? Same thing with the dogs. We've got to really be thoughtful. Yeah.
Yeah,
Then we
I've
went
learned
over.
how to sidle up to the dogs. Just like I'm
Yep.
standing beside you now, and there goes my hand. Oh, it's touching you.
There it is. Oh my.
Oh my.
Yep. Yep. I enjoy
And I
that.
liked it, and I liked it. I always liked it when I sidle up to a dog and I touch them, and then I feel their weight against my leg.
Oh
That was
yeah.
I would
Big honor.
just
Biggest
get
honor
this
there is.
big, yeah, biggest honor there is. I had this situation which I really recommend other places model. I had two chairs side by side in the front of my shop away from the grooming. And I would go forward and sit in one of those chairs, and the owner would sit in the other chair, and I could meet the dog sitting down. And the dog could sniff my foot and everything before, I made a move towards them. And I loved it when those dogs would
Always
kind
good.
of like sit beside my leg and put their body up against my leg. And I said, bingo, I got
Yep.
you, honey.
I'm in.
Man, we're gonna have a good grooming today. I love that, and that setup of having those chairs in my waiting room where I could sit down and the owner could sit down and the dog be between us, that just worked over and over and over again for me. So
Yeah,
those are
that's
my
a
two
good
bits
tip.
about that.
So I enjoyed Chris Anthony's article about Shear's World Tour because she talked about the different collections that groomers have and depending on where they live, what they focus on and all of that. I thought that was fun, nice, light read, not much meat in there, but interesting stuff. And then we had a really nice look at a grooming salon in with a lady who started in Ukraine, and that was
Right.
fun. Mary Groom is the name of her shops, and she
Mary
had
Groom. Yeah.
yeah, very nice looking facility. And although I thought in her school she had everybody really close together, that was the only thing I noticed. I was like, "Ooh, those tables are close," but you got to do what you got to do.
Space is space. Well,
Space is space.
yeah, I like that one
It's fun to
too.
look in
And
people's stuff.
there was just some very smart moves that were made there because they they didn't just start grooming. They started grooming, a grooming school, a grooming sales of grooming tools business.
Yeah.
Like they just covered all the bases.
Yep.
And then, and then bleachers, collars, and that's because there was just like nothing out there for the
It's
dogs
true.
at all. And
Yep. Yeah.
yeah, no, I
Beautiful
wish that
shop.
I just feel so bad about Ukraine.
I know. I know it. Yep. Okay,
Ladies
so
and gentlemen,
you know what I
please
really
allow
like?
me to point you to
I
one of the
like
best
Show
whitener
Season Bright. Let's
shampoos
hear from
in
them right
our
now.
marketplace. We're talking about Show Season Bright shampoo. It features a deep cleaning system and a punchy whitening system that goes beyond the usual blue colorant with an actual optical brightener and a dash of dimethicone. This makes all colors look radiant and glowing, and white coats look like new snow. Get your bright on today. Show season, where every day is a show day.
The last article, because I was going to forget to run that ad, so I just thought I better sneak it in there at the end. The last article was cat owners, helping cat owners understand the importance of professional grooming by Lynn Paolillo. That was fine. Yeah, not much in there, just some interesting thoughts.
Well, I'm going to give it to Barkley for having regular contributions about cat grooming. Every issue they have something.
Yes,
So, like that's come a long ways, baby.
yes, it
And
has.
that's good.
I agree. Definitely good. Okay. Well, that brings us to the end of our review of Groomer to Groomer April 2026 issue, and on to very exciting things like whatever we're doing today. I've got a golden retriever to groom, and then my niece is coming out. We're going to hang out for a little bit. It's going to be a good day. It's beautifully sunny. Barbara, what's on your agenda?
Well, I'm going to turn my attention to the comparison of recirculating bathers that are out there so that I
Excellent.
can give you a rundown next week
Yes.
or soon.
Yes.
Let's learn.
Let's not be committal.
Yeah.
Let's just leave that kind of open. But
soon.
yes. Cool.
Yeah.
And we also, in the future, coming up very soon, we're going to talk to the Groomer's Choice guy about the show season, Groomer's Choice, Dealy Bobber, and other stuff with Groomer's Choice. So there you go. Okay, happy grooming, everyone. Thanks for being here. Please support our sponsors. Continue to support us if you like it. And we'll see you next time on the GroomPod. Bye now.
Bye-bye. Take care of yourselves because we love you.